The Wyoming sun scorches the endless prairie, baking the cracked earth where her sleek city car sits stranded. Hood propped open, steam hissing like a wounded beast. Dust swirls around her designer heels as she steps out, her silk blouse clinging to her sweat-dampened skin. Frustration etches her sharp features. She's a corporate queen, out of place in this raw, untamed world of sagebrush and open sky. Her phone's dead, no signal, no lifeline to her urban life. A low rumble stirs the silence, hoofbeats steady and sure. She squints into the shimmering heat, and there he is, a cowboy riding out of the haze on a black stallion, his silhouette sharp against the blazing horizon. His hat sits low, shadowing eyes that lock onto hers, sparking something primal. "I want right now," she moans, her voice a sultry whisper, heavy with a desire she didn't know she carried away by the hot wind. He dismounts with a fluid grace, boots kicking up dust as they hit the ground. His flannel shirt, faded but taut across broad shoulders, is rolled up to reveal forearms corded with muscle. Tanned by years under this merciless sun, he moves toward her, each step deliberate, his presence filling the empty space between them. Her breath catches as he stops close, too close, his scent of leather, hay and raw masculinity enveloping her. "Car trouble?" He drawls, voice low and rough, a faint smirk playing on his lips. His storm-grey eyes trace her form, bold yet reverent, lingering on the curve of her hips, the flush on her cheeks. She nods, words tangled in her throat, her pulse hammering as heat unrelated to the sun pools in her core. "You're a long way from anywhere." "Darling," he says, stepping closer still, his shadow falling over her. The air crackles with unspoken tension, her city polish clashing with his rugged edge. "I need help," she breathes, but it's a plea laced with a hunger she can't name. In one swift motion, he scoops her into his arms, her body pressed against the hard planes of his chest. She gasps, fingers digging into his shoulders, feeling the shift of muscle beneath her touch. The ranch house looms ahead, its weathered wood and wide porch a promise of shelter and something more. As he carries her, the world shrinks to the creak of his boots, the thud of her racing heart, and the electric pull between them. He kicks the door open, stepping into the dim, hay-scented air of the house. Her moan echoes soft but urgent. As the threshold crosses into a realm of raw passion, a wildfire poised to ignite them both. He kicks the ranch house door open, the weathered wood slamming against the wall as he carries her inside, her body cradled against his unyielding frame. The air is thick with the scent of aged leather, fresh hay, and the faint musk of their shared heat. Her fingers cling to his broad shoulders, tracing the taut lines of muscle beneath his flannel, her nails catching on the fabric as she fights the urge to tear it away. "Don't stop," she breathes, her lips grazing his ear, voice a sultry plea that sends a shiver down his spine. He strides to the worn oak table in the center of the room, its surface scarred from years of ranch life, and sets her down with a gentleness that belies the hunger in his eyes. Her silk blouse slips off one shoulder as she leans back, the wood cool against her fevered skin. His calloused hands find her waist, fingers splaying possessively, exploring the curve of her hips with an urgency that mirrors her own. The world outside, the lowing cattle, the wind rattling the shutters, fades to a distant hum. Nothing exists but the fire between them. His mouth claims hers, a kiss deep and ravenous, all teeth and tongue, igniting sparks that dance down her spine. She arches into him, her hands tugging at his shirt, buttons popping as she frees the hard planes of his chest. Clothes fall in a frantic cascade, pooling on the dusty floorboards, her blouse, his belt, her skirt, each piece a surrender to the pull drawing them closer. His hands roam, rough yet reverent, mapping her body like uncharted land, while her moans fill the air, soft but insistent. "More," she gasps, pulling him closer, her legs wrapping around his hips. The table creaks under their weight as he presses himself against her, the heat of his skin searing through the last barriers between them. Sunlight streams through a cracked window, gilding their entwined forms in golden hues, sweat glistening as their bodies move in primal rhythm. The intensity builds, a storm of desire threatening to consume them. Her nails rake his back, urging him deeper, while his low growls vibrate against her throat. In this stolen moment, the ranch house becomes their universe, where passion reigns untamed and the promise of ecstasy hangs heavy, ready to break like thunder over the prairie. The bedroom door swings open as he carries her, her body still pressed against his, their breaths mingling in the charged air. The four-poster bed looms ahead, draped in soft linens that glow faintly in the golden afternoon light, filtering through gauzy curtains. "I need you," she gasps, her voice a desperate edge as she pulls him down onto the bed, their bodies sinking into the mattress. His weight above her is grounding, his ranch's frame hard and unyielding, like the land he commands. She arches up, her nails grazing his shoulders, urging him closer as their lips crash together in a kiss that's all fire and hunger. The world outside the room dissolves, the distant low of cattle, the creak of the ranch. How settling, nothing matters, but the pulse of their bodies moving in sync. His calloused hands explore her, tracing the curve of her spine, the softness of her thighs, each touch igniting sparks that flare into a blaze. Her moans grow louder, echoing off the wooden walls, a symphony of more and yes as she surrenders to the rhythm they create. The linens twist beneath them, tangled in their frenzy, as sweat glistens on their skin, catching the fading sunlight. He whispers her name, rough and reverent, his breath hot against her neck as he presses himself deeper. Their connection a fusion of raw need and unspoken promises. She responds with a shudder, her legs wrapping tighter, pulling him into the abyss of their shared ecstasy. The bed creaks under their intensity, a steady counterpoint to her gasps and his low growls, building to a crescendo that shakes the very air. Her fingers dig into his back, leaving marks of possession, as she loses herself in the storm of sensation, each wave crashing harder than the last. In this sacred space, time halts, the golden light bathing them in a surreal glow as they chase the peak of pleasure. The ranch, with its endless chores and solitary nights, fades. It's just them, two souls colliding in a dance as old as the prairie itself. Her final cry, sharp and unguarded, mingles with his ragged breath as they crest together, bodies trembling in the aftermath. The room holds them, a cocoon of linens and light, where passion reigns supreme, and the world beyond can wait. Night falls over the sprawling Wyoming ranch, stars piercing the velvet sky above endless fields. Inside, the bedroom is a haven of heat and intimacy, where she lies curled against him, their bodies still humming from the wildfire of their earlier passion. The linens are tangled around them, a soft cocoon lit by the faint glow of a bedside lamp. His arm, strong and possessive, drapes over her waist, his calloused fingers tracing lazy circles on her hip. Her skin tingles under his touch, every nerve alive with the memory of their collision. "You came like a whirlwind," he murmurs, his voice rough with emotion, a low rumble that stirs her anew. She shifts, turning to meet his storm-grey eyes, their intensity softened by a tenderness that catches her off guard. Her fingers brush his stubbled jaw, tracing the lines carved by years of sun and solitude. "And you caught me," she whispers, a smile playing on her lips. Their lips meet in a slow, languid kiss. Not the frantic hunger of before, but a deep, soulful exploration, tasting the promise of something beyond lust. Yet doubt creeps into her mind like a shadow, her city life, his rooted existence. Is this fleeting, or could it anchor her? His hand slides up her back, pulling her closer, as if sensing her unspoken questions. The warmth of his chest against hers grounds her, but the ranch itself feels like a living presence, its walls whispering of past loves and heartbreaks. She wonders if they're just another chapter in its story. His fingers weave into her hair, tilting her face to his. "Stay," he says, the word heavy with meaning. Her heart skips, torn between the pull of his arms and the life waiting beyond the prairie. As they lie there, the night's quiet amplifies their breathing, a rhythm that syncs with the distant howl of a coyote. Passion simmers beneath their closeness, ready to reignite with a single touch. She presses herself closer, her legs sliding over his, feeling the spark flare again. The stars outside bear witness to their fragile bond, A connection forged in heat, but tested by the looming dawn. In this moment, though, the ranch is theirs, a sanctuary where desire and doubt dance, and the future remains a tantalizing unknown.